Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you a little bit around my disaster of a garden, disaster of a yard, and show you my chickens, show you how everything's looking now in 2025, because I know a lot of you guys were following some like my garden journey 2 years ago, and you know, I got a lot done. I really tried on a lot of things. I'm trying to be as positive as possible. I tried a lot of techniques out. Some of them did well, some of them didn't. I'm motivated. I want to get things back to how they were and even better. Like, I've got so many projects I want to do. I've got structures to build. I've got new areas to turn into my irrigation system. I've got more chickens to get. Let's go on this sad, dark, raining winter day. Here are the ladies. Let's go say hi. Hi, girls. This is Miss Chicken. This is Tata, the black one. And that's Mia. This is their front of their chicken run. But it goes all the way back here too, under the trees. They're like 3 years old now, so they aren't really laying too many eggs. I did have 4, but one of them died when I was in the hospital having my baby. I do let them outside in the garden quite a bit, but they're just a little bit difficult to wrangle up back into their run. My chickens are just mostly pets, so they live in their retirement life and they don't need to lay eggs. It's fine. They can just relax, have fun, and they're such a joy to take care of. I get so much entertainment from them, so they can just live their happy little old lady retirement. I'm thinking next year I'll probably get more, or maybe the year after that. I can't really decide. They are a bit of a commitment. Like, I can leave them alone for like a week, maybe 2 weeks, because they've got like an auto door closer, they've got an auto feeder, and their water is good, and I've got a camera to watch them. But they do like not love to be in the run all the time, so I really only leave them for like 2 weeks at a time. So I'll probably do like 4 more chicks in the spring, so let me know if you want to see more chickens. This is the auto door closer I have. It's Chicken Guard. It was kind of expensive, but it means I don't have to let them out in the morning and then tuck them in at night. It's automatic through a sensor that it's got right here. So I don't know, I like it so far. It needs a bit of maintenance, needs like batteries, but that keeps them pretty low maintenance. And they've got a lot of food in their feeder, and they've got like an auto waterer. I mean, to a certain point. All around the coop is dig-proof hardware cloth. And there's hardware cloth all here, and there's a roof. So it's pretty predator proof to leave them in here for a while. I haven't had any issues. I did have some issues with rats trying to crawl under the, or dig under the dig proof fencing that I put around, but I usually just like plug those with steel wool when I find their little rat holes. I also installed these little like play structures. This one kind of cool. This is a mulberry tree that I planted in the run. And so this little structure goes through the mulberry tree, and I thought that they could like come up here, eat mulberries and leaves, but they actually haven't gone up there. I also plan on this winter covering this whole run with an extra layer of wood chips, so that it's going to keep them dry in the winter, because it is quite rainy here, and it'll give them something to do scratch in here, because right now I basically use this as like a compost bin sort of thing, especially because it is rodent proof in here. I'll throw food scraps from the house, I'll throw weeds in here, they scratch in here. I'll like sometimes throw scratch and worms on top of here, so then they'll kind of mix all this up and create like this really good compost underneath. They roost up here. This is just a 2x4 right here. So they roost up here in the evenings, and at night works pretty well. They got plenty of room, really. I think many chickens would fit in here, but I wanted to give them lots of space. I've been trying to get out all day to finish my irrigation system, and it just started raining as soon as the baby went to sleep and I got all of my chores done. So it's frustrating to do this stuff in the winter because of all the rain, but that's okay. So this area right here, I've kind of turned into a wild Gary Oak meadow. It looks really wild right now in the winter, but there's some roses, and then in here it's mostly, man, this does not look good, but it's mostly weeds, to be honest. Like, this creeping Charlie is taking over in here, but I'm trying to get like some native plants established, like the aster here. That was already there, but I'm trying to like expand it. And this is a Gary Oak tree right here, which is our native oak. I can't really sheet mulch it because I planted all these little berry bushes and like currants and stuff. But it's just all this creeping Charlie here is just creating this ground cover, so it's really hard to seed it with anything because the creeping Charlie just fills it right in. But the sword fernt's doing really good. The snowberries. You can see the roses here, the rose hips, the last oak leaves hanging on. This is all the aster coming in that I've been like trying to spread, but then this'll not good. Creeping Charlie, not good. I don't know, this gets really frustrating. These beds here are where I was trying to like start a food forest situation. I've got like, what is this, Saskatoon berries, I've got some cherry trees that they really don't look like anything right now in the winter, but I don't know. I think I gotta rethink this area because what happened was all the lawn I had here just started growing into here. I was weed whacking it back every day. Well, not every day, once a week, but it was just really starting to like fill in, take over this whole area, and I think it's really harmed a lot of my tree growth because it's just the weeds and the grass competing for water, the minimal water we have. So I think what I'll do next year is, or I mean this year, is going to be maybe heavily mulching this and just like really keeping on top of the weed whacking here. And it's the same thing with this one. This is my fig tree right here. It grew a tiny bit this year, not by a ton. And then yeah, just the grass growing in. A lot of this stuff in here is just weeds. This is my peach tree, and sadly I think this peach tree died. Like, it didn't get any leaves this year. I mean, I think there's like a trick where you can snap. Yeah, but yeah, this is just like brown. This is dead, I think, on the inside. I think that's what it means when it's brown. So I don't know, I might need to remove this peach tree. I might do like a plum in its place. Here's another oh, I'm so overwhelmed even just looking at this. This is almost all dried grass that grew in this bed. So I have witch hazel in here, I have blueberry in here, but it's just completely being overwhelmed by all of this grass. It fills in, it takes water from the blueberries, and you can see it's just this long, I don't know if it's Bermuda grass, but I don't even know how to begin tackling it because it's all in with these plants that I want to keep, so I can't really sheet mulch it. I don't want to spray it. I don't know, I tried manually removing it 2 years ago, but it just came back in a fury. So I'm honestly scared to work on this bed because I just know how much work it's gonna be. This side yard actually has been looking pretty good. I really like this spot. My rosemary and gooseberries that I planted here have been doing super, super well. Actually, gosh, this rosemary looks so good. I haven't gone back here in a while, but this is really good. This grew from like tiny starts. So at least something is doing well. I have it under the eaves here, so it really enjoys kind of this drier spot here. I was trying to do like native plants mixed in with fruit trees here. So this is a pear tree I planted, and I tried to mix it with asters, and you can see ignore all my trash, I'm doing like a cleanup of this area. You can see the asters just have like completely overtaken this, super tall. They're crowding out my pear tree, so I don't know, I think I need like either to mulch this and pull out the asters or get something that's a little bit shorter, because I do think these pear trees are suffering. They're not liking being kind of covered by all these flowers. It was an attempt. I tried it. I tried to see if I could interplant, here's goldenrod here too. I tried to see if I could interplant it at like the base of the fruit trees, and I don't think I did a very good job. So I gotta work on this section. So this area here is a huge section of lawn that I actually am going to be building a greenhouse on. So I think I'm going to do that in January. I'm saying that to hold myself to it. But I want to build like a big polytunnel here, maybe with like repurposed wood. If I could do like repurposed plastic, that would be really cool. I'm still designing it. This is an old pad, I think maybe from an old shed or play structure that used to be here. So maybe I can incorporate the cement pad somehow within the polytunnel. It's like a potting area, so I think just this whole area is going to be a polytunnel for next summer, and then I'll connect it in with the irrigation that I'm running in the beds and have like even more planting space. One thing that did really well this year, obviously it's not much to see now, but my native plant garden has really come out good. Like I keep it this way, looking kind of ugly for the birds and the bees in the winter. There is quite a lot of food for them in here, like just with all these seed heads, a lot of overwintering environment for insects. There are some weeds in here, like this I think is a daisy, like a non-native daisy. I didn't actually see that until right now, but generally the native plants in here do a pretty good job of keeping the weeds out. So almost all of this is native, and it's really hands-off, like it just keeps going and going. So this is all just like prime environment for the birds and the bees in the yard. And it goes all the way kind of over here. When I was pregnant, I was not weeding. I couldn't even bend over because of like pain, acid reflux, so I wasn't like maintaining the property at all. So a lot of weeds have filled in, which is frustrating to see. And when I say weeds, I'm not like, oh, it's a dandelion, I don't like it in my lawn. I'm talking about weeds that are actually like overtaking the native plants that I'm trying to get established here, which is really challenging. And they're non-native, and they're just like, they grow much faster than I can establish any sort of like native meadow species. And so I'd rather have the native species to help the birds and the bees and everything. So I don't know, I'm very overwhelmed by how much I have to do in here, and it's frustrating to see a lot of like the hard work that I did, just like, you know, the weeds and invasive species taking over in the year. But I'm gonna keep working at it, and I've got all winter to work on it before spring, which is nice because I can kind of get ahead of like all the weeding before spring comes, and everything just grows so fast that I can't get anything done. I should say, like, I guess as a life update, I'm not working right now. I do still have a job, but I'm on maternity leave for the next less than a year. Like, I'm going back in the fall of next year. I live in Canada, so we get like a really long maternity leave, so I'm trying to take advantage of it as much as I can and focus more on like just hiking, being in nature, like doing some of the stuff I do at work but for fun and for me, focusing on, you know, working on my native plant garden, my veggie gardens, taking care of my animals. You know, time off is very limited. Usually I have my baby on my back for all this work. So like when I discovered that I could wear him on my back, it really did open up like a lot of potential projects I could do. But every project is still through the lens of like, can I do this while baby wearing? Which is no. The answer to that is no a lot of the time. It's been an interesting time. I didn't know what my life was going to look like this year, or like what it was going to be like in general after like the year I had last year, being pregnant and, you know, having my babe. But I'm actually really excited for next year. There's so many goals that I have in January, February, March, April, May, through the summer, and having the relief of not having to work like a 9-to-5 job has been huge. I think another thing about winter, especially when you live somewhere where it's dark and cold and it's a long winter, is just having like winter indoor activities to do too. So obviously, like, I am lucky enough it's not snowing here, so I'm still gardening, doing some outdoor stuff, hikes, but I've also been doing a ton of library visits with my baby. We go and we get a bunch of fun books, we read magazines. Like, I don't know when I stopped reading magazines, but I just totally got back into it. So we've been reading magazines from the library, just making that a whole event, just going out, getting like cool nature books. Indoor plants are super fun, taking care of like my house plants. Having greenery inside in the winter really boosts my mood a lot. Like, you need outdoor hobbies that get you out in the winter, like hiking or snowshoeing or gardening if you live in a climate where you can in the winter. But also indoor hobbies like sewing, reading, whatever, something away from the screen ideally. The hobbies that I have outdoors and indoors away from the screen are really helpful in these long, dark days.